Hey guys, and welcome to Arcane Assist. This week it's myself, Evan, and I'm playing with someone we've mentioned a lot on the channel and talked about. You've often seen his terrain and models used, but this is the first time we're actually featuring our good friend Ian for a game. So Ian, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Oh, hi, Evan. Thanks for having me on the show. My name's Ian. I've been playing War Machine for since the end of Mark II, I want to say, with KHADOR almost the whole time. A little bit of Trolls, but mostly for the motherland. And I'm happy to be out here to showcase my Malakov2 Wolves of Winter list. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, this is an awesome list. Tim was playing this, I think, a couple of weeks ago, if not the other week, on the channel. But we've made a couple of tweaks since then. And I mean, you have a good deal more experience with it now, especially because you've played it basically every round at the OTC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I went 4 rounds with it undefeated. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Why don't you go and tell us what it's in? What's in it, rather?
Okay, so the list is Wolves of Winter theme force. So I get my free solos, and I get to start with my upkeeps and play, which is huge. And 1 unit of Doom Reavers or Grey Lords can make a 2-inch apparition move at the beginning of my turn, which is also pretty great for messing around with positioning and setting up charges. The list itself, I have Commander Andrei Malakov, so that's Malakov2. His battle group is 2 destroyers. Nothing's fancy there, but lots of good ranged support. And later on in the game, they usually get in pretty good with the axes. My solos are Fenris, who is cool now because he's got Blood Quenched, which really adds to his survivability and hitting power into bunches of little dudes. I've got 2 Koldun Lords. They're also interesting now because they have the ability to borrow spells from any other Grey Lord model within their command range. So it really adds to their utility. In addition, they have Puppet Master and Brittle Frost as well, which is a -2 to the armor of a non-cold immune model that they hit. So a lot of interesting utility out of them. The meat and potatoes of this list, I have 3 units of Doom Reavers with the Command Attachment Grey Lord Escort and 1 without. The Grey Lord Escorts now have a list of spells that they can access, and they have Combat Caster. So before they do a press forward order, they can either give their unit Relentless Charge, have remove healing and tough effects from within 5 inches of them, or they can also cast Frostbite, which is super good as well.
Yeah, they have a really good tool, especially because since it's an aura that just says no healing, it affects colossals and huge bases as well. Pretty big into some of the matchups going on right now.
Mm-hmm. They also have Sackpawn Doom Reaver, so they get scalpeled out quite as easily by shooting. My last unit, or the last unit that I pay for, is Alexia's CNR and the Risen with Valachev. This is an interesting addition for this particular list because Malakov's battle plans can affect them as long as Valachev is alive. So I can have backstriking Risen or Risen with Prowl.
Yeah. You kill the first line of Doom Reavers, Alexia raises them as Risen behind you, and then the Risen are suddenly Weapon Masters behind you.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah, Malakov says the key to victory is surprise, and surprise! And then finally I have 2 Grey Lord Turnians, which are free as part of the theme force. They're interesting. They've lost Frostbite, but have gained Bonds of Woe, so they have an RFP effect against Living Warrior models, and can start to add to Doom Reaver units again. They still have their what do they call it? The Blizzard ability, but that's changed to selecting a model instead of targeting, so it bypasses the Doom Reaver's spell ward. And they still have Ice Cage, which has some good utility to it as well, if you need to, fix the hitting power, or accuracy rather.
Good old Ice Cage. All right, so hopping into my list, I am playing the Exalted theme, one we've shown a couple times on the channel before, although finally I went and did it. I finished painting my Supreme Guardian for the OTC, so I have one of those on the table today with Zaal2 and just a crap ton of Immortals. Just throw dudes at them. Eventually they'll run out of dudes, and then you'll only have your dudes, and then that'll be it. So in terms of solos, I got some Ancestral Guardians and Hakaar. I also have the Tough Bubble Novitiate, as well as the Telemetry Bro, who is a nice little arc node, which Zaal definitely appreciates. Because with Telemetry and the +1 from Veteran Leader from Hakaar, he basically is Magic 10 against whatever he wants that's within 8 of that little Telemetry arc node. He also has in his battle group a Shaman and a Raider for the nice little snipe ghost shot combo, as well as Despoiler, who's just in this list mostly a damage buff, because Zaal doesn't have one of those himself outside of letting the Immortals boost without charging. So that Dark Shroud's going to give them a nice little +2, which makes them a nice POW 15 as opposed to 13. So they're a little bit better at taking things like KHADOR heavies on. I think that's just about it for my list. I think we're ready to head into the game itself, so here we go. All right, so you won the roll-off and elected to go first, so tell us a little bit about your deployment here.
Okay, so when I'm deploying this particular list, I try to leave laneways for my large base models so that they can get past the Doom Reavers without getting jammed in, then be able to move my support models like Turnians and Koldun Lords, that's the word, up and into a supporting position. I then have a conga line of Risen. They all kind of hang out around Alexia and Malakov because they are good sucker targets for him as well. And that is more or less my first turn, or my deployment.
So I have 0 advanced deploy and a ton of models, so I have to go super wide. So this Supreme Guardian's basically going to walk up so that it takes up the entirety of that shallow water template. Zaal's going to be fairly central. He's just going to try to get right up behind that wall and have some amount of defense this game. We're going to deploy some Immortals on that side of him. Basically, there's going to be 1 unit towards the top side of the screen and 2 units below the Supreme Guardian. Alongside the Tough Bubble on the below side of the Supreme Guardian and the Arc Node on the bottom side. I chose this side because I figured you have a lot of ways of getting Relentless Charge. So you're not going to care too much about the shallow water, especially because you AD and can just run around it. You're not going to care too much about getting around that wall, but you can't Relentless Charge around a building, and this way I can kind of split your forces to either side, and that way I can deal with a flank as I deem necessary. This way I can cross the Supreme Guardian over to either side, because that building really messes with the Supreme Guardian's deployment. And he can go wherever he needs to be, especially when you're doing this sort of split deployment where you have a heavy on either side, and your deployment at this point is fairly symmetrical. In fact, it will be throughout the game, except for the 1 unit that's missing a unit attachment.
Yep. And here I go, just slapping out a bunch of Doom Reavers. This particular list took a lot of practice to deploy and get that first turn under 5 minutes. Otherwise, I ended up clocking myself a lot when I was just learning how to play this. So I really had to be very disciplined about being able to get these models on the table and ready to play, so that I'd have clock for when it actually matters.
That's a fair point. I mean, you have fewer infantry models than most infantry lists, but you're making a lot more attacks against lists like mine with a rule like Berserk.
Yeah, and here we go. I start with Escort on Malakov and Tactical Supremacy on the lower Destroyer. First Destroyer just runs. He moves 10 because of Escort.
Starting with Escort in play is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it really gives me a lot of utility out of them. One of the things that you can do with that is you can run those models into place and then cast Open Fire with Malakov, which has caught a few people on the wrong foot.
Have you ever thought about starting with Tactical Supremacy on one Destroyer, doing the trample and getting an extra 2 inches with that one, and then flipping it over and then trampling with the other one as well?
That could work. I hadn't actually thought of that. I'm going to put that in the toolbox.
Yeah, and then you get, even on the first one that goes, an extra 2 inches for that Open Fire.
Yeah, it's gets like an inch or two into an advanced deploy, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Here's, I think, Malakov. He's given those guys Prowl, because I'm going to put some clouds on them with the Turnian later on. And he's going to, pop out a Veil of Mists just so we're shielding our guys a little bit. And he's going to hide behind that obstruction there and more or less live there most of the game. Got some Turnian running up here, just getting into position, making sure I have the leader model there. Then I got the Destroyer. He tramples and then repos. Gets himself a good position. Then it looks like Alexia and the Risen are going. I'm just making sure I have enough dudes in her command bubble, so if somebody dies, I can get some corpses and get some more zombies, because everyone loves zombies. And you can see I'm leaving a bunch of them around Malakov to... it's just out of habit to make sure that I have some sucker targets.
Yeah, it's a good habit too.
Fenris just getting himself within threat range of the objective and letting you know that I'm within threat range of the objective.
Mm-hmm.
Turning or advancing, they were choosing a few models, and what I normally do is I just run the Doom Reavers into the position where those clouds are going to be. It's just a lot easier than trying to fiddle around with stacking little circle templates. And there they are. They're all in position. It's all good. Everyone's happy. I think this is a Koldun Lord just running around. More Doom Reavers. Oh, he popped another blizzard there.
Mm-hmm. Steals a Turnian spell, and then...
Well, he taught all these guys how to cast these spells, so he's like, yeah, let me see that book. And there we go. And I slapped the clock.
Yeah, so you've moved up very aggressively. I realize that this looks like a bottom of 1 feet for me. Because if I just try to stay out of your threat ranges, you're going to just be on my side of the zones, and I'm not going to be able to get into them. So I'm going to feet. I'm going to push as far up as I can. I'm going to cast both the spells. Vision's going to be on the big guy. Aura of Power is going to be on myself. I'm going to charge, and I'm going to just camp for it. And then my Supreme Guardian's going to break off of his base because he's a jerk.
Wah, wah.
Supreme Guardian doing what we talked about with that shallow water template. Going to be there. He's going to be on a bit of an angle just because it's got a bit of a bump on it. But that's just fine. So, green unit of Immortals running right on up. We're going to be mostly fine with it. Keep a couple of guys forward. I know they're probably going to die to the Doom Reaver charges even at armor 22. But
on an average dice roll, that should break armor.
Mm-hmm. But if I keep most of the unit back, then you'll kill the front rank, and then the back rank is going to come in with both Vengeance and their normal attacks, and I'll be able to get some good attrition work done. Because I have Recursion and, I think, more infantry models than you. Hold on, wait a second. I have 33. You have 4 units of Doom Reavers. There's 6 models in each. So you have 24. And
plus command attachments. So 27. But I mean, that also adds 3 to mine, so 33. I mean, the big thing is you have Risen. The Risen are always going to make you outnumber me here. But my guys are actually good at killing stuff, and Risen are not. Zombies are so bad.
Zombies are very bad. So the Arc Node for me runs behind the Supreme Guardian. I want him to be fairly safe, and I think he's pretty important for some angles here. You may think, how is he important? Half of Ian's list has Spell Ward. Oh, you'll see. You'll see why he's important. Shaman's going to walk up and take a shot at the...
I think it's just
Doom Reaver.
Yeah, blue Doom Reaver?
Blue Doom Reaver. He's going to shoot him. Kablam.
Lands it. He dies.
Kills a dude.
Take a corpse.
You take a corpse. It's true. He's going to clock that dude.
Doesn't. No, it looks like he misses.
He misses. Despoiler is just going to cautiously walk up. he doesn't really want to die to Doom Reavers.
Yeah, you're using sort of as a late game hitting piece.
I don't really need the Dark Shroud against anything in your list, so he's just here to be a beast.
Yeah. And it's back to me. It looks like I'm just measuring what kind of damage I can cause and what kind of mischief I can get myself into.
Yeah.
And now I'm messing around with circles and trying to reposition my guys.
While you're pulling, pulling those circles off, I want to talk about the positioning on my bottom left here, where my most unit of Immortals, you may notice, is out of my control range by a lot. So I have this huge gap between the front line and the back line, just to guarantee that you can't reach those back guys who aren't going to be in the feed. But still want some vengeance, so we're going to put some guys forward for that. So what's your plan going into turn 2 here?
Well, I'm not a huge planner when it comes to this particular game, but I feel that I need to sort of set that line of engagement more on your side of the table than on my side of the table, so that I can hold that advantage and hopefully survive and start scoring some points.
Yeah. I think there's a threshold of how many Immortals you have to kill in order to be in it, and how safe you have to be with some Doom Reavers here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you make some great charges here, not even some great charges, just some
mediocre,
like normal Doom Reaver weapon master charges into feeded on Immortals, then I think you're going to be doing quite well.
Yeah.
You have this bottom unit that's in the yellow unit that if you charge into the little alcoves I've made and left for you,
I should get some decent
charge
berserk attacks.
Exactly.
Like that.
The charge attack should kill. The berserk attack should kill another one. Another berserk attack maybe 50-50 kills one. And then right then and there, if you kill 3 guys with 1 Doom Reaver, you are way ahead.
Yep. There's just a Koldun Lord. He's popping a Puppet Master on the Destroyer. I'm going to go hunting for command attachments and solos with that Bombard.
Mm-hmm. I definitely hadn't seen this one coming. Your range on those is huge.
Yeah, they have 20-inch threat with them. That's pretty good.
I was like, oh, I have sack pawn.
It's like, oh, I'll just target something.
the AG directly next to it.
I'll just boost the damage roll on that armor 12 guy. It's fine. There we go, boosting the attack.
So this is the Puppet Mastered one.
Yep.
You hit the AG. You do
little damage.
Some damage to the AG, even under feet. You boost damage on the UA. This is the blast damage. Leaves him on 1 box, but you Puppet Master it.
Still leaves him on 1 box.
Still leaves him on 1 box.
Let's hear it for consistency. And then I just reposition out of the way so I don't get charged.
That's fair.
And then what am I doing? I'm looking here, trying to decide what else I'm going to shoot.
Yep, your other Destroyer sees the same thing on the other side. Yeah. Sees a nice little unit attachment over here.
Yeah, we'll just dirtle forward a little bit, get him in range. Look, we'll boost that attack roll. Fires, lands. Same thing happens pretty much again there.
I think this is the one you just absolutely blow up, right?
Oh, yeah. There we go.
This one you just blow to smithereens. He's dead.
We hit the bullseye and all the dominoes fell like a house of cards. Checkmate. Sorry, that's what Malakov would say. He's like a Zap Brannigan type of character.
He very much is. I love those quotes so much.
Oh, there'll be more, I'm sure.
I am counting on it.
All right. I'm just measuring more things because I'm not too experienced with playing into the Immortals theme force, so I'm thinking and asking questions and, burning through my clock. That's, but I gave myself lots of time to do it. I activate the orange unit of Doom Reavers. The escort gives them the relentless charge. He'd make a defensive strike. He toughs and falls down.
Yep. I'm fairly confident that you're not going to attack the Supreme Guardian.
No, I really can't crack his armor, so I'm mostly ignoring him. I was just trying to get that defensive strike out of the way so I can get some of my other Doom Reavers in there without taking the hit.
Yeah.
And they're there. They're just running, getting themselves into position. And there's the escort making sure he's in command. Rolling some dice. Dice are not being my friend.
So the first 2 charges match my armor.
Yep.
That's really bad.
So bad.
The last charge also misses.
Yep.
So 3 charges from Doom Reavers, 0 dead Immortals.
It's fine, though. It'll be fine. I got lots more Doom Reavers to roll.
My Ancestral Guardian makes a defensive strike after you charge into him.
Yep.
Takes out a Doom Reaver.
And then we just bring in more Doom Reavers.
You got a lot of them.
Yep, I'm willing to sacrifice wave after wave of my own men to achieve victory. There we go. That's two.
That's two.
There we go. Making sure we got the 9-inch command on that escort. He's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, he's happy.
There we go. I think I'm rolling some more dice. Maybe doing some damage. Not doing enough damage. Doing some damage.
So the charge on the AG does nothing. Charge on some Immortals. You kill one there. You're doing okay. The top charges go a lot better than the bottom ones.
Yeah. This is sort of what the whole plan for the whole table was, to try to push back that front row so that I'm a little up on attrition and being able to dictate where the engagement is going to happen. Oh, here comes some more charges from the green unit. They're going to get all busy in there again.
Yeah, so this is I think 4 charges on the Ancestral Guardian here.
Yeah. He should be dead.
And 1 charge on just a normal Immortal.
Yeah.
Sorry. It looks like 3 on the AG and 1 on an Immortal.
Let's roll real good now.
So the story here...
Oh, sadness.
It's no damage, followed by 1 damage. Or no, that one does maybe more than 1. I don't remember. It's a sad story here. Doom Reaver charges do not kill the AG.
Yeah, I mean, these are like fresh Privateer Press battle box dice. They should have all the luck still in them.
They should be on fire.
But they are not.
They don't kill the AG, and they don't kill the Immortal, so it's on to the other models you have.
Yep, let's see what else. Maybe we can salvage something. And I'm thinking, can I do a thing? Am I going to do the thing? I'm looking. Oh, looking for a proxy base. Make sure I can fit through between the objective and that Doom Reaver. And the school bus yellow group are going to activate, and they're just going to start swinging as well. They're just walking. And
they've reached the models that aren't even in the feed yet.
Yeah. So we're going to try to clear out some of these guys. Or not.
Yep, get him just fine.
All right.
Get the next guy just fine.
Yeah. I think you're making tough checks, are you, with this?
So at this point, yeah, you're getting into the Novitiate's tough bubble, so he can start making those tough checks with the guys around him.
Oh, those guys did pretty good.
They're not succeeding at tough checks, however. Although at this point now, I think after that last Berserk attack, 1 model from every Immortal unit has been taken out, so I do get Vengeance across the table.
Mm-hmm. Just moving up some Turnian so that they can be useful. Bonds of Woe is actually a pretty effective spell. It's POW 12, range 10, I want to say.
Yeah, it's it does work. I mean, in my list, it's a little bit disappointing that you don't get to get any recursion out of it, because my models are obviously not living.
Yeah.
But my unit attachments can't sack pawn it, so it's useful there. You can target my Novitiate with it, and he can become a Doom Reaver. Oh man, SKORNE Doom Reavers. Can you imagine?
That would be nice. All right, so looks like I'm just moving some zombies around here. Alexia's trying to make sure she's got a few people in command so she can get some more zombies. And Risen are dirtling about. I put one in the zone there with the intention of turning it into a Thrall Warrior. Do I remember to do that, though? I don't. And I go straight on to Malakov. He gives them Prowl again. And... oh, yeah, I had forgotten to add a Risen for that one guy that died. So had to put them back. Had to put it into play. What else? What am I doing here? Oh, I'm getting ready to drop another Veil of Mists just to protect Valachev and Alexia from getting shot. So they have Prowl again. And Malakov is feeding, but I haven't put out the doodad yet. And here I am forgetting I've already activated Fenris. And then you say, hey, you've already activated Fenris. And I go, oh, right, I've activated Fenris. So he goes back to where he was. And it's all good. And I slap the clock again.
Yeah. So, Malakov's feat's pretty fun. You get no knockdown tough with Doom Reavers. And if they make it tough, they basically just get to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm just going through basically the vengeances on my turn. Since you didn't really kill or cut too deep into the front line, I'm actually getting a lot more vengeance attacks than I thought I would here.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing on my end, that's for sure. But good for you.
Zaal also gets Righteous Vengeance because of the Bombard shot. Hakaar also gets to move because of his Righteous Vengeance because of the same Bombard shot. We're going to go kill the knockdown guys, try to clear out a little bit of a lane for the Supreme Guardian to come forward. Because, again, once I've killed a lot of Doom Reavers, I'm fairly confident in the Supreme Guardian's ability to survive some punishment with the combo of Defensive Strike and Vision, because I can both ignore the first, hit I take and kill the first guy to come in.
And here's me making a tough check, wandering that Doom Reaver out of a melee range of somebody. There's a guy failing a tough check again.
Miss a lot of vengeance attacks over here. I do need 7s to hit because they aren't in Hakaar's bubble. Vengeance moves on up. And then Hakaar moves on up. Fury-wise, Zaal gets to go to full. And I think he gathered 2 souls from last turn, so he's going to be on 9 Fury this turn.
Gets to do a lot of stuff with that.
And I do upkeep one of my spells for free thanks to Black Arts from, not Mordekar. Mordekar's Beast, Despoiler. And I do upkeep one just by paying for it. So both Aura of Power and Vision are still up. So what do we want to do this turn? Well, kill as many Doom Reavers as physically possible. Scoring a zone would be nice, but not the priority. Killing some Jacks would be nice. Still not the priority. Get rid of all the damn Weapon Masters on the table. Because zombies are going to have a hard time killing Immortals. Doom Reavers are not. Or maybe that's wrong. Maybe they're actually going to have a hard time. They certainly did last turn, but I don't have a feat anymore. So.
That certainly levels the playing field.
Yeah. It's a lot scarier now. So how do we want to do this? Well, there's going to be some awkward, jumbled, incorporeal charges, as well as some bunching up a lot more than I would like to. Follow up with a dash of block, honestly. So first I see this nice little thing Despoiler can do where he's going to clear out one of my Ancestral Guardians by making his initial attacks and killing a whole bunch of Doom Reavers, maybe spending it or buying 1 or 2 attacks in the meantime. And then the AG is going to go and kill one. And then I'm going to just have free reign with where I want to charge with basically an entire unit of Immortals. So let's see how that goes. Spoiler makes a bunch of attacks, clears out those Doom Reavers.
Tough knockdown.
You make some tough checks. In the end,
tough knockdown.
They just make me spend a couple more Fury to clear it out.
Well, resources are resources.
It's true. And again, Despoiler is a weird one in this particular matchup because he's not really worried about running to apply Dark Shroud. He's mostly just here because he can be, and I had some free points to spend on him.
He's doing some good work, that's for sure, though.
AG clears out the last little Doom Reaver that is blocking the charge lanes that I want to get into your top zone, as well as kill some Doom Reavers. So here we go, making those charges. And again, we don't need to do damage here. We just need to hit. So I actually boosted in the first attack roll, the one that's not in Hakaar's bubble, and all the rest of them just like, 7s will be fine.
Yeah, now you're using souls and his Arcane Might equivalent for doing that, right?
I am just using the Arcane Might to boost. Everything else is just them rolling 7s and Hakaar having Vet Leader. So Vet Leader is a 10-inch bubble off of him because he's got a massive command.
He's very good at yelling at the statues.
It's mostly grimacing. Nice little ghost shot from the Shaman. Picks off the unit attachment back there.
Yeah. And
I have this one little Doom Reaver left that I don't like because he can kill 4 dudes by himself, which is a problem. so we need to get rid of him. But we're going to figure that out later, because I don't know actually how I'm going to do that.
Easy stuff first.
Easy stuff first. It's a good way of playing Blood Bowl, and also a good philosophy for saving clock time in War Machine.
Yep, because while you're doing the easy stuff, you can do the thinking about the hard stuff.
Exactly. Although this is some weird positioning that I need to do here in order to not die to free strikes. So this guy goes incorporeal and runs over top of the knockdown Doom Reaver.
Yep. Now, you found with my magical weapon masters, you had to be a little more careful about where you're moving your incorporeal models?
100%. You can actually make free strikes against me, which is not typical. In this matchup, it's mostly used as a tool for going through terrain in my own models.
Still useful.
Still useful. Still very useful. But less of an objective power thing. You took a model off before making a tough check, so I was like, wait a second, you rolled a 5 for him.
I just kind of was getting ahead of myself there.
So I make some more attacks, kill some more Doom Reavers. Thankfully for me, Malakov's only focus 6, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of Doom Reavers just are just a little bit out. Just a little bit out of his control range. Supreme Guardian's just going to bully the table here, walk up, Thresher some Doom Reavers, and then bring back some Immortals. Using my recursion in this game is fairly important. I'm using it. Move it from one base to the other.
Yeah.
I'm using the recursion in this way mostly so that I can engage other Doom Reavers that I know I'm not going to be able to kill this turn. That way they don't get as many angles for charging into big groups of guys. They're forced to only kill 1 or 2 Immortals. And it heavily restricts their movement because there's guys in the back. So either Ian has to use an order of operations that he doesn't really want to in order to remove that problem.
I actually just changed my mind about where I was going to move a poison pill movement there. Just so I'm not leaving that zone completely empty.
It's a good move. So yeah, I bring back some Immortals just into the back arc, some Doom Reavers, so that it's causing you some issues. And then the blue unit goes. So, what do I want to do with this unit? I can't quite see that Doom Reaver. I can see the Risen. So I can charge the Risen if I want to, which isn't great. But I'd probably go through the melee range of the one Doom Reaver there. So I don't want to do that either. But we have this great angle for a charge at this far back Doom Reaver. So we're taking that one. Because, again, more Doom Reavers off the table, fewer Immortals that can die. Now, here's where you're going to see this little arc node come into handy. Because you'll see that once I move all these models for charges, I'm also going to run a Doom Reaver into melee. Or not a Doom Reaver. A Immortal into melee with the Doom Reaver and the Risen. Now, this is twofold. One, it's shoring up that problem earlier that I talked about. That means this Doom Reaver is not charging into my entire unit of Immortals unless Ian activates something to kill it first, which it's an Immortal. It's a little bit difficult to kill, honestly.
Well, the way I've been rolling, yeah.
And thing 2, I can target it with Annihilation, which is an AoE 3, POW 10. That's not unlikely to kill both that Doom Reaver and that Risen, especially when I'm going into combat. I believe telemetry is only against enemy models, so I'm Magic 8 in the back, needs a 7 to hit, and then it's POW 10 against both of them and POW 10 against me, so I'm more likely to kill them than myself. So it's a nice little way of getting around the spell ward on both of those units.
Yeah. It's a sneaky attack. I like it. Worthy of Malakov himself.
So this unit of Immortals finally making all of their attacks because there's a lot of weird charges in there, leaving 1 or 2 Doom Reavers alive in the process. Again, unfortunately, because they're just in giant bunches of Immortals, and if they get a nice string of rolls, that entire unit's gonna be dead.
Yeah, that's Berserk is a fun rule.
Yeah, Berserk is awesome.
What's even better is Berserk plus Silence.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Kill an immortal there, thanks to the AG, I believe. No, unit attachment. Something kills it, and then we remove the proxy base. Might have been just the prior unit of immortals.
Oh, I had a proxy in there because I was trying to put a Doom Reaver model, and
Right.
then you say, "What's this?" Oh, it's a good place to put a small base model.
Mm-hmm. Hakaar just runs up. Our camera battery died momentarily there, but we're good. Hakaar runs on up. I mostly just move him here because I want to provide that bubble further up the table, and once Hakaar gets some souls, he is a monster with Zaal2 because he doesn't have to worry about boosting his damage because he can just use Zaal's Fury to do that with Aura of Power. So he's going to get a lot of boosted damage rolls in future. Raider walks up, boosts to hit that Doom Reaver that we talked about earlier. Misses, hits my own guy in the back, but doesn't kill him because 5 plus 12 is 17.
You should have boosted.
Didn't think I'd need to. I only needed a 6.
Right.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? What else is going on?
I think I'm debating whether or not I want to make that move with Zaal. The Annihilation here. Oh yeah. No, there's an Ancestral Guardian. It runs up into a way that immediately would block that line of sight. Then I'm like, gonna adjust that a little bit. Hold on a second here.
That's better.
There we go.
Much more betterer.
Problem solved. So within 10 inches of that, I'm like looking at the table. I'm like, if I just target that destroyer and scatter forward, I could kill some Turnian. And like, nah, just killing that Doom Reaver is way more worth it. Because if I get a bad scatter, then I don't kill anything. I probably just hit a KHADOR Warjack. That's not good. Doom Reaver fails a tough check. I take his soul. And I rolled dub ones on my own model, so my own model does not die.
Yeah, I don't even get a corpse out of the deal.
Worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, the addition of an arc node to this list for Zaal2 is just a wild world, honestly. With the amount of focus he gets every turn, or fury he gets every turn, and the ability to sling spells basically anywhere on the table. Like, if I had a second one.
What if SKORNE had arc nodes?
It's amazing.
Oh, here I get into my next turn here. I'm just clearing up some stuff, counting how many corpses I'm going to be able to drop in here.
A whole bunch.
I think it was like 5, so some. And, oh, yep. We're going to just apparate that one Doom Reaver who rose thanks to Fenris.
Yep.
So he can hopefully get some work done with swinging a Doom Blade and being Berserk. Because who doesn't like doing that? What else am I doing here? Oh, replenishing focus, powering up some robots. There, the Warjacks are getting focus again. Because they are built like steakhouses but handled like bistros, thanks to Escort. And here we are, popping up some zombies out of the ground.
Yeah, I think when you started this turn, I was like, all right, phase 2 of your list. Because now, most of the Weapon Masters are gone. But you just get a zombie horde, and you still have 2 heavy Warjacks that I have to deal with. And you still have the Dragoon solo that's just going to murder whatever it wants. So now's the other hard part. Can I defeat this zombie swarm?
Here we go, swinging, hopefully for lots of berserk attacks.
Yep.
What are we going to do? No, we're going to roll double ones.
Yes, you are.
Oh, sad trombone. All right.
Womp, womp, womp.
Well, that didn't work. Let's do a different thing. That guy, he's going to activate. He's going to boost an attack roll, or he's just going to shoot the objective. He shoots the objective. I'm going to boost damage on the objective. Boom. Then I'm going to boost damage on
the Novitiate, the tough bubble. Leaves him on $1. It's a very similar story to you trying to kill the other Arm 12 $5 support solo with a blast damage.
Yeah. And then I reposition into the zone just so that I theoretically could contest it or score it maybe if I'm really super lucky and kill all those guys. but that doesn't seem likely
You
to happen at this
open
point.
fire and just axe the dude you were in melee with.
Yep, and this is where Malakov gives backstrike to Alexei and the Risen because they are friendly faction thanks to Valachev. So those Risen that are appearing in the back arcs of all of those Immortals will get 3 dice to hit and damage, and in theory, tear them apart.
Yeah.
That's
It's a good plan.
It's a dirty trick. Oh, here we are, moving into Koldun Lord. He's just lining up so he can borrow Valachev's spray spell, a little frostbite. Boom! We're trying to...
Sorry, you didn't even leave the Novitiate on 1 box with the blast damage. Because this spray attack rolls that double ones for damage,
Yep.
and now he's on 1 box.
There we go. A little disappointing again. He really should have died. I really want to get rid of that tough bubble so that I can actually get some work done. But it's not going to happen, so we're just going to try to salvage what we can. Move forward. We're going to cast some Bonds of Woe and just try to take out some Immortals with some POW 12 magic attacks.
You target my support UA. I Arcane Vortex it because he's within 3 inches of the Supreme Guardian.
Yep.
You try to clear a lane for the other one. And
toughs.
I tough, so you can't actually see the Novitiate after that tough.
Yeah, can't be knocked down because you're immovable objects.
Because of theme. Yeah, so now you still can't see him. So you just go and try to Bonds of Woe with the same guy, and he doesn't tough this time.
He gone. There we go. So, at least I'm trying to salvage what I can here. What do we got here? Here come the Risen. The Risen are up to their nonsense. They're going to make a bunch of combined melee attacks. Alexia is going to move forward as well, I think. Yep. So Valachev's going to pop forward as well. He's going to be dropping a spray template down and hopefully getting some work done with these guys. These guys really should be taking down on fairly average dice into these Immortals, but we're just not getting it most of the time.
So... that was a 2-man on the one Immortal and then 2 individual ones on the other ones. So you actually needed a 10 to hit the UA because of Grave Mist. You miss. You kill the one Immortal, and the 2-man CMA does not kill my Immortal.
Yeah.
It really should.
Yeah. If anybody listening wants to send me some new dice, please do.
Yeah, it's not...
There we go. They're getting some work done. And Alexia is going to spend a Risen after shooting the objective. And she's going to boost the damage roll into it.
Yeah. So you make the spray with Valachev, and then you hand cannon with Alexia. What I thought you were going to do was Zephyr with Valachev, move some Risen forward, and then make a Thrall and charge with it to kill the objective. Yeah. But this worked just as well, if not better.
It was only on a few boxes, so I didn't really want to. Well, I guess it wouldn't have been a resource to expend, but it's. Here we go.
It's just a method.
Doom Reaver time.
Doom Reaver time.
Reaving some Doom.
So you're making some sprays with some Grey Lords.
Yep, that escort's. I really like those Grey Lord escorts. They get a lot of work done. Usually.
They're nice little end game pieces because they have good sprays. So when you move in with a line of Doom Reavers kill a bunch of stuff, and then they line up to go kill your Doom Reavers. Once all the Doom Reavers are dead, it just kind of walks around the corner and sprays down the line that killed your Doom Reavers.
Yeah. Plus he's still a unit, so he can score those circle zones. And what else we got going on here? We have some Turnians are casting the Bonds of Woe. Just trying to get some damage in, kill a few more Immortals. They do pretty good about that, too. I was hoping to be able to clear that zone. It shouldn't have been that tall of an order, but again, wasn't getting the results from my dice that I needed to get it to happen. So I'm again in salvage mode. Move my Destroyer in, so at least I'm contesting some zones with it. Taking a shot, trying to take out the big guy. Lands the attack roll, boosts the damage, kaboom! There we go. I feel good. I got something destroyed. Koldun Lord walks forward, borrows another spray. And I don't really care about catching my Turnians or escorts in it because they're immune to cold, and so they can ignore the frostbite damage. go, and I think that is that everything that I can do? I think we're on to you now.
Yeah, looks like it.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope, moving Fenris in, right?
Fenris, right. He's going to try to kill this Immortal. So he hits, and then...
Fails to break armor.
Fails to break armor.
Then he
Misses
misses,
with double ones.
and then he pony kicks it, kills it with the pony kick, and then I berserk and wipe out my two Risen that are there. It does give him 1 off of his blood quench, though, so I'm going to eventually add a little dial that adds +1 to his strength and armor. You can see it right there. And he just repositions in to contest the zone. And now it's on to you. I scored 1 whole point.
Yes, you did. You killed my objective. So we move to the vengeance phase again. You're going to make some tough checks, I'm sure. We move in to kill some Risen. Basically, if we look at them, they die, so I'm not too worried about those attacks.
Yep.
More worried about this Doom Reaver that's still in the mix of everything, but we have so many attacks that can go into it, it's not even funny. So we knock him down with the first one, and then the other unit walks in and just looks at him, and he dies.
Yeah. At this point, I'm really running low on dudes, and like all of my models and Malakovs in the back saying, "Stop exploding, you cowards!" But they're not listening.
Yep, the Immortals hit Grey Lords. Grey Lords get smooshed.
But I got corpses, so it's all good.
Yep, they're gonna be zombies soon.
It's fine.
All right, what next? Zaal just moves up a bit from Vengeance. And then we move on to the Fury part. So, my Raider frenzies and then misses my Shaman.
Oh, he just
That's
hits him,
cool.
just fails to break armor, isn't it? Or no, he just full-on misses.
He
That's
just
right.
full on misses. He needs to hit on a def 13. He misses because he's mat 5 and he rolled a 7. So, Zaal is going to get his 7 Fury and then has 5 souls, so he's going to be on 11, I believe, this turn. He's going to also upkeep his spells, 1 for free, 1 not for free, so he'll be on 10 focus for the turn. Fury.
That's pretty good.
10 is a good number. I like that. That's a lot of boosts.
You get a lot of work done with that.
I am within 10 inches of the objective with Despoiler, so Despoiler can just charge it with his reach attack and be cool. And in the bottom zone here, we have just not too many models to clear out in order to feel good about it. In the top zone, I want to destroy the objective. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to clear the zone, but we'll see. And in the middle zone, I definitely think I can kill Fenris, and I definitely think I can kill that KHADOR Heavy with the Supreme Guardian. So we're going to try it, at the very least. The question is what order we do this in. Because that Koldun Lord does have magical weapons, and if I want to kill that KHADOR Heavy, I have to basically surround it with a ton of dudes. So, step 1, charge with blue unit. There's not a lot of blue Immortals left, so they're going to try to kill these 2 Koldun, or, well, one of them is a Grey Lord Turnian, and one of them is Valachev, actually. So he's fairly important. So we just hit that guy and kill him.
Yep.
And then we just hit another guy and kill him. And then we actually have Vet Leader, so we hit with that guy and just kill Valachev.
Yep, no longer friendly faction.
I redirect a charge into the KHADOR Heavy. I boost damage from Zaal, and it does some damage. And we're like, all right, I'm feeling pretty confident about killing this Destroyer now. So we're going to do the soul things. We're going to go incorporeal, so we basically just don't have to care about positioning and running through my own models. And we're going to get 9 charges onto the Destroyer.
It's like better Tactician and Pathfinder all in one go.
It is. It's lovely. And then we're just going to run our little UA to be in a nice spot. So, we have surrounded the Destroyer. We have 9 attacks at dice -7. So there's going to be a whole lot of dice rolled here.
Yeah.
But the gist of what happens is the Destroyer is left on, I believe, 4 boxes. Maybe even 3. But not a whole lot. They don't quite kill it. But we have an AG in charge range, so he's going to mop up after them. And then once that Destroyer is dead, we're going to leave a nice little semicircle where Alexia can park herself and kill all of these Immortals by buying attacks with Risen.
Yep. There it is on like 3 boxes or something. Ancestral Guardian goes in, finishes the job. Bye-bye.
And there's that nice little semicircle we were talking about.
Yeah.
I start to move this guy, and then I'm like, wait a second. What's the range on your buff? Oh, it's command, and your command 6. Great. You give the Supreme Guardian +2 strength. You move within 6 inches of basically that entire group of Immortals to give them all tough. And then the Supreme Guardian doesn't charge. Haha, tricked you. It's Hakaar. Hakaar charges and combos the Destroyer in the top side of the zone. This is what we were talking about earlier. He's a monster in melee with Zaal here. He gets to buy with souls, and he gets to do crap tons of damage. And this is why he shouldn't be a weapon master, everyone who thought that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he would have just killed that KHADOR heavy with no problems.
I wonder if you could do something similar with Alexia and Vlad too, where she spends
Certainly.
Risen.
Yes, you 100% could do that. There is no reason not. I mean, it's a little bit more resource intensive with Risen, but you also have a lot more attacks you can make.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Alexia wants to go kill a heavy, why not?
Yeah. She actually has, with this particular list, getting the backstrike, and she's taken out things like Discordia by spending most of her Risen. And really has no business doing that otherwise.
So I charge Fenris just because, I don't quite get close enough to him to prevent the dismount from being out of my melee range, which is really disappointing because now I have to find something else in order to kill him.
I think you have a solution to that, though.
I do. Oh, I do. So, Supreme Guardian is going to mop up the heavy after a couple of attacks, and then he'll have 1 soul left. So I'm going to bring back Arisen somewhere, I'm sure.
You mean an Immortal?
Ha! An Immortal. Why would I bring back one of those stupid little zombies? So I'm looking at the table, and I'm like, there's not really any good spots. I guess I'll just add one to this green unit. I put the model down, and I look at the table once more, just trying to see if that's the best choice. And I see this. I put it next to Fenris. Remember that little annihilation trick we did earlier?
Guess what?
Guess what? We now have a beacon for it, thanks to recursion. So the Arc Node runs to get in line of sight of my own dude, and also basically gets close enough that if the AoE scatters, it lands in the exact same spot.
It's a nice little trick. I like this.
And then we annihilate the same dude. Welcome back. Goodbye. Welcome back to Unlife. Here's your annihilation.
Well, fail my tough check. Goodbye, Fenris.
And Fenris'
Alexia gets a corpse.
Is mine. She does not.
No, she doesn't. Right, remove from play. Right. I don't even get a corpse.
So that's how I cleared the middle zone and the bottom zone. Although I still have to get a War Beast in the bottom zone. I'm probably gonna just run my Shaman there. Despoiler is gonna just absolutely truck this objective. Boom, gone. See you later. Bye. Now that the objective's removed, you can now see that I also ran an Immortal into the middle of those 3 Grey Lords up top because I was gonna annihilation him in the back. But this angle down bottom was way better for me because it scored me a point.
Yeah.
As much as it's tempting to kill my opponent's models, scoring points is more important, so I run that Shaman into the bottom zone and score my 3 points. Ian, what is the plan?
Well, basically, I'm just trying to get in some good licks here, last another turn. I mean, I don't really have a reasonable chance of winning the game at this point, so I'm just going to try to kill a few things, contest, try to showcase a couple of rules that this list can do, more or less. So I apparate that one dude, or the last escort there. I make a bunch of Risen appear behind the Immortals. I can't give them backstrike anymore, unfortunately, because Valachev died, but they can maybe make some combined melee attacks, maybe take down 1 or 2 of those things, and still provide corpses for Alexia to buy and boost attack and damage rolls.
The apparition from your theme force benefit specifies Doom Reaver or Grey Lord, right?
Yes, and it's unit too, so I can't I can't apparate like Alexi and the Risen. I can't apparate Fenris.
Okay, that's good.
Yep. I think we've got some sprays going on here.
So you
Oh no,
kill
we're doing
a dude with a spray, and you're like, Bonds of Woe, Hakaar. I'm like, no. The soul you just gave me says no.
Yep. Bonds of Woe, Bonds of Woe, Bonds of Woe. And there we go. We're moving the escort. He's going to
do a spray.
Yep, going to do it backwards. I need to adjust him backwards a little there so you can actually see. And I don't care about hitting the Grey Lords because they're immune to cold. And kill a few more guys. That's good.
Soul goes to the Supreme Guardian.
Yep. And what's going on over here? Alexi says, oh, I'm just going to charge into that bubble.
Yay, here's a big old semicircle of death.
And all the Risen, they do their thing, getting ready to do some combined melee attacks. Do them first, and then
do the
Alexi
CMA.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot a guy back there, but Evan was kind enough to let me put him into command just so I could spend him as another corpse.
Yep. It's like we all knew what he was doing this turn. It's fine.
And
yeah. Like, wait a second, I have the tough guy. Not that he matters. He dies anyway. And then you're like, oh yeah, the tough guy. And then you kill the tough guy.
He should die. There we go. We finally got him. Got his one box. Thank you, Risen. Oh, and gives me a corpse. So we like that. And we're still failing to... Well, no. We're getting some work done. It's not too bad. And now we're spending Alexia's boosting attack and damage rolls as much as possible. Just trying to eliminate a few more of these Immortals. Mm-hmm. She's not really going to survive very long there, but she's going to make it a blaze of glory.
Yeah, that is fair. She gets a lot of kills here, honestly.
Yeah.
Just racks up that kill count because, I mean, might as well, right?
Yeah. I don't know how many units are. There's like 2 full units in there, aren't there?
There were 2, well, not full by any means, but 2 fairly healthy Immortal units in there, as well as the Ancestral Guardian solo, who is beefy.
Yeah. There, so she's finished her activation, and Malakov's like, well, I'm going to get a couple of licks in myself. He walks over here, sees, is it Hakaar?
Hakaar is directly behind the Supreme Guardian. We do not have line of sight of him from the camera.
But Malakov does.
But Malakov does from behind that building.
Yep, he's just popping him with a hand cannon, boosting the damage roll. Then he's going to pop a Razor Wind into him, boost the damage roll, leaves him on 1 box.
Yep.
Again, underperforming with the damage rolls again.
Yeah, and I think you were debating doing another Razor Wind.
Yeah, but
I would have Arcane Vortexed it.
Yeah. So here I go. I'm just going to lay down a Veil of Mist to keep myself from getting immediately killed.
Yep.
Vengeance moves occur.
Vengeance moves happen.
Trivially remove my Risen.
Kill the Risen. Kill Alexia, which clears both zones. And I score both zones, and that is the game.
There we go.
So, thank you very much for coming on the channel, Ian. I really like your list. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we can feature it once more without the terrible dice rolls.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed with the result of, the randomizing effect of the game, but it's a solid list in the right circumstances, and it's a lot of fun because you have all of these dirty tricks that you can do with Malakov, and I really get a lot out of that, and I think catches a lot of players off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to your credit, you absolutely you played a nice canny game against him, so you were denying me the access to lots of corpses. I didn't get really a lot of back strikes and things like that. So it was a very challenging game, but a lot of fun as well.
Yeah. All right. That's us for this week. Thank you very much for watching, folks. If you're watching us on Patreon, thanks for supporting us on Patreon. If you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for watching. And remember, guys, we are trying to do some t-shirts very shortly, so if you would like to give us quotes or ideas or anything you'd like in the comments below, we will consider basically anything at this point. And also, we're going to be at Adepticon, at least myself and Tim are, at the end of the month. So if you're going to Adepticon, we'll see you there. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next Monday.
Goodbye, Internet.